Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. NCDC announces 6 new confirmed COVID-19 cases in Nigeria, 2 each in Kwara and Edo, and 1 each in Rivers, as well as the FCT, bringing the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Nigeria to 238. President Buhari approves 500 billion naira special intervention fund to address disruption caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, including upgrade of healthcare facilities in states across the country. Court sentences Nollywood actress Funke Akindele and her husband Rashid Bello to 14 days of community service after the couple pleaded guilty to the charge of flouting social distancing order. And UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson taken into intensive care unit in hospital after his coronavirus symptoms worsened. Plus, we'll have business, sports, news from Abuja, the FCT, and of course later on international news from our London studios. Our website, channelstv.com, has more information on our top stories and others. Do subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser. Or you can download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. You can also watch us via your smart TV platforms on Apple TV, Android, Fire TV, and Roku as well. 2 more COVID-19 patients have been discharged from the infectious disease hospital in Lagos State. The state governor, Babajide announced this today in a tweet, saying the 2 female patients have recovered fully, having tested negative twice. According to the governor, the state now has a total of 31 people that have fully recovered from COVID-19 in Lagos and discharged to join the community. This is coming as the state's Commissioner for Health, Professor Gbajabiamila, insists that the government is confident that the measures it's adopted to halt the spread of COVID-19 are yielding results. Professor Gbajabiamila, who spoke at a media briefing, also explained the trend of the infection and the government's efforts to curb it.
A slightly lower number of cases per day. We can't tell what the long-term projection will be, but this is certainly encouraging data. What has been seen in other locations is exponential rise of cases, and we are seeing a flattening of the trend. When you combine these 2 gradients together, this was the original trend of last week, and the red line is the trend of this week. But we're seeing some activity here, even though it's low-level activity. We've seen an increase of 1 to 4 in Alimosho. This may represent a low level of activity, but in line with the density of that local government and the number of people in that area, we're going to divert some of our activity in terms of surveillance, awareness, and information to the local governments around Alimosho.
Meanwhile, as part of measures to contain the spread of the coronavirus, all markets in Edo State are to be shut from midnight April the 7th, while the use of protective masks will now be compulsory for anyone moving around. The Deputy Governor of Edo State, Mr. Philip Shuaibu, said temporary markets will be provided in nearby public schools for the sale of food items. And for flouting the social distancing directive of the Lagos State government, popular Nollywood actress Funke Akindele and her husband Rashid Bello have been sentenced to 14 days community service. At the magistrate court sitting in Ogba, the Attorney General of Lagos State, Moyo Onigbajo, told the magistrate court that they gathered over 20 persons in their home over a weekend for a birthday party. The magistrate Yewande Ajay Afunwa also slammed a fine of 100,000 naira each on the couple. Our judiciary correspondent Shola Shoyele reports.
This is the viral video that sparked an outrage on social media. A birthday party hosted on Saturday by famous Nollywood actress Funke Akindele and her husband Rashid Bello, popularly known as JJ Skills. The police subsequently arrested the actress Sunday evening and her husband was said to have later turned himself in the same night. Arraignment took place Monday morning at the Samuel Ilori Magistrate Court in the Ogba area of Lagos. With a large crowd comprising journalists and police officers in tow, the defendants are led into the courtroom with no regard for social distancing. But Chief Magistrate Ajay Afunwa is strict. She allows only parties on their counsel in court, a crowd not exceeding 20 persons. Journalists are also barred from covering the proceedings. The one-count charge is read. It states that the defendants gathered over 20 persons at their residence, contrary to Regulation 81A and B, which is punishable under Section 58 of the Public Health Laws of Lagos State 2015. When asked if the facts ascertained by the state against them were true, Funke Akindele in tears responds that it is. The Attorney General of Lagos, who led the prosecution, immediately asked the court to sentence them accordingly. In his allocutus, the defendant's lawyer, Gbajabiamila, said that the couple are first-time offenders and very decent members of the Lagos society. In her sentence, the magistrate held that the gathering was a reckless and irresponsible act. She, however, noted that the defendants had no prior criminal record and looked remorseful. To serve as a deterrent to the general public, she fined them 100,000 naira each. She also ordered that they be immediately held in isolation for 14 days in a place only known to the Lagos State Ministry of Health, after which they will serve a 14-day community service in any public place in Lagos.
More importantly than all this sentencing is just to say that these regulations are important. The restriction is not just because the government doesn't want people to move, but it's to protect everybody's life. And the government will not tolerate or permit anybody to endanger others.
The Attorney General also says that the other persons who attended the party, including popular artist Naira Marley, will be arraigned in court on Wednesday, the 8th of April. Shola Shoyeli, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the former ADB governorship candidate in Lagos State, Babatunde Gbadamosi, and his wife, who were also guests at that party, have also handed themselves over to the police. Let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Ibrahim Adra. Ibrahim.
Hello, Ijama. Good to see you. The United Nations, in partnership with Nigeria, has launched a single basket fund for COVID-19 in the country. The fund will coordinate all donations from members of the United Nations to the Nigerian government's efforts to stop the spread of the pandemic. According to the United Nations resident and humanitarian coordinator, the fund will also help to cushion the effects of the pandemic on the country's economy and the health sector. Meanwhile, the National Assembly is also scrutinizing the Chinese medical personnel coming to Nigeria to assist in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic, with the Speaker of the House of Representatives insisting that they must undergo the necessary checks. Mr. Gbajabiamila says the measure has become necessary to take precautions and allay fears expressed by many Nigerians. A statement from the Speaker's spokesman confirms that Mr. Gbajabiamila stated his position after a meeting between the leadership of the House and the Ministry of Health. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osagie Hanire, and the Minister of State for Health, Olorunmimbe Mamora, assured that Speaker that the 18 Chinese doctors will not have personal contact with patients during their stay in the country. And as the COVID-19 pandemic persists, Canada earlier today evacuated 137 of its nationals from Nigeria, while 392 American citizens have also left the country through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. A large number of the evacuees airport were Nigerians with dual nationality. Airport authorities say the passengers were screened according to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control rules, and the U.S. evacuation is expected to last till Wednesday, April the 8th. The public affairs officer of the U.S. consulate in Lagos, Russell Brooks, said the evacuation exercise is taking place across many countries of the world. And the daily number of deaths from the coronavirus in Spain is falling for a fourth consecutive day, raising hopes that the country has passed the outbreak's peak. Spain has recorded more than 135,000 confirmed cases across the country, the highest in Europe, but with the number of new cases slowing. And when the News at 10 returns, global ratings agency Fitch lowers Nigeria's rating to B with negative outlook. That's on Business News. Do join us again.